Hi and welcome to this new video. Thank you very much for reaching out to this video. I'm Success Prince by name, and in this video tutorial, we're going to be talking about AC. Yes, I remember in my last video, I actually said I'm going to be talking about the AC and the DC because I actually answered the question, the all-round rumor of how bed actually stand on top of the electric line without getting shocked. If you haven't checked that video yet, go check it right there. And in that video, I actually said I'm going to be talking about AC and DC, which is actually alternating current and direct current. So in this video, we're going to be talking about AC. What is alternating current? What is actually alternating current? Where did the name alternating actually come from? What actually happens, and what is actually the main features which we need to know as electronic enthusiasts or electronic hobbyists about the AC theory. Now you're going to be asking me, what is AC? What is AC? What is the full meaning of AC? Why is it called AC? And where did the actually, why is the name, where did the abbreviation actually come from? AC. Now the full meaning of AC, as I said earlier in the intro of this video, is actually alternating current. Yes, alternating. Now we need to take the current out and we need to focus on the alternating. Yeah, I actually said the meaning of AC is actually alternating current. Now you want to get the full breakdown tutorial on why the name is actually alternating current and where the alternating current actually derived from. Now this is how we are going to explain it. Now alternating, how does it sound to you? Alternating, how does it sound in your ear? What comes into your mind? Alternating is something that is not stable. Alternating, something that is changing every second and every minute. It's not straight. Other than direct current, other than DC, you can see that D is actually direct current, something that is straight, something that is the same, something that has no change, something that always just follow in one path. But alternating AC current is like alternating, it's actually changing. What is actually happening? We are going to cover that, and let's go to the main theory. Now, just as I said, alternating current is actually something that is actually changing. Yeah, other than direct current is something that is flowing in one direction, but alternating current is something that is changing direction. It's not flowing in one space, it's actually changing direction. You can take AC waveform as like this, which I'm actually showing on the screen. It's actually wobbling, it's actually going up and down. But direct current, other than direct current just flow in a straight pattern. That is enough to tell you. That is enough idea to tell you that AC alternating current is a flow of current that is not always straight. It's actually changed direction, and we are going to be explaining how that works, how is that possible, and how is that put together. Now AC is actually what we actually use in our homes, like the socket. If we measure the power which is actually coming out from our socket, the kind of current is actually coming out from our socket is actually alternating current. We don't use DC current because DC current is not what they use in transmitting and power lines. So AC is actually the basic current flow. AC is the basic power line which actually use to power our stuff, or television or TV or electric fan and stuff like that in our homes. But DC is actually produced by batteries. DC is what we use to power our small electronic components such as Arduinos, LED bulbs, little fans, DC fans and stuff like that. But the main power which we actually use in our homes to power large appliances is actually alternating current. Now alternating current comes from the theory of changing in positive and negative. Yeah, the value is actually changing. Now other than direct current is just a flow of current. If you have positive right here, you have negative right here. But AC is not like that. AC actually changes. It actually goes up and down. It actually changes polarity. If here is positive, in the next step here is going to be negative, and here is going to be positive. Like the change in values is also going according to the haze which you are supplied with in your home. So what you need to know, what you need to get in your brain is that AC actually changes current from the word alternating. From the word alternating current, we also already tell you that the voltage, the current, the polarity actually changes every second according to what your country actually produces from the power line. But for my country, Nigeria, we actually use 50 to 60 Hz. That means that the polarity changes every 60 times per second. Yeah, it actually changes 60 times per second. If your country actually runs on 100 Hz, but most countries actually run from 50 to 60 Hz, which means that the polarity actually changes 50 times per second. That is the main theory which you need to get. So 50-60 Hz means the polarity actually changes 50 to 60 times per second. So in another word, DC current actually flows in one direction, but AC current actually flows back and forth. AC current doesn't flow in one direction. DC current actually flows in one direction. Only one direction which we actually use to power our small equipment, but AC which we use is actually used to power our large homes and appliances in our homes actually flows back and forth. It actually flows in reverse direction. It actually does not flow only one direction. It actually flows reverse direction. So that is actually the difference. But I'm actually going to be making a different video about DC. that will be in the future. Now you're going to be asking me another question, which you're going to be asking me is that why is AC actually used in power lines? Why is AC used in transmission power lines? Why not DC? DC will actually moves in a straight line, but it's actually move back and forth. Why not DC in power line? The main theory which you need to know about AC is that AC is easily stepped up and easily stepped down. Yeah, they can step up the voltage to over thousands of volts and low current to actually reduce power loss, but DC actually have a lot of power loss even if it's stepped up to that kind of voltage. That is why AC is more comfortable, but it's why AC is more used for power transmission lines, because the power plant, the Kainji Dam, is actually far away from our home, so they need to step up the voltage to a very high kilovolts to be able to transmit the energy from the power plant and the powerhouse to our living home, so that there will be no energy loss. And since the power plant and the Kainji Dam is really far from our living homes, they actually steps up the voltage to over 765,000 volts and with low current. Since energy loss is proportional to the square of current, keeping the current low is really crucial to reduce the current energy loss, by the way, because the Kainji Dam, the power stations which the electricity is actually generated from, is really far from our homes, as I actually said the last clip. So keeping the current low actually saves the energy from going down and power loss, because yes, power loss is actually going to happen. It's eventually going to happen because the distance is really long, so the current is actually reduced and the voltage is actually increased to reduce energy loss while the transmission lines flows and comes to our living homes. So next time you plug in your fan to your electric socket, you just have to know that electricity actually flows through that socket, and that electricity is actually alternating current. So you know, and thank you very much for watching this video today, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for staying to this long and getting the full breakdown insight. If you're kind of confused in a particular point, just let me know in the comment section below and I'll answer that immediately. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like what I do, and also you can check out my Patreon. I actually post video updates and actually project which actually coming up on my channel. I actually post it on my Patreons and let my patrons know to that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.